Hi everyone, in today's speed build I am doing a recreation of the diner and home of the Belcher family from the show Bob's Burgers. If you're not familiar with the show, I highly recommend you look it up because it is freaking hilarious. I love that show. Me and my kids and my husband all watch it together as a family, and we have pretty much since it came out like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's super funny and really interesting, I think. So now the only issue that I came across as far as recreating the building was the fact that in the show, it doesn't really make sense how the kitchen in the diner is so big when on the outside of the building there's only the space of the stairway to go up to their apartment or whatever. Like, that's the only space it shows, you know, as far as the kitchen. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but yeah, so if you look inside the diner, like the wall and everything just goes straight down from the windows, but that means that the kitchen should only be as wide as the staircase to go up to their house. So in trying to translate that into The Sims, I, had to kind of adjust it a little bit, and I did make the staircase double wide here, as you can see, but I still had to give the kitchen an extra tile space in order to make room for everything that belongs in the kitchen. So, and if you saw my recreation of the Family Guy home, you might already know that when I translate a house or anything like that from a cartoon or even from real life into the Sims game, we kind of have to adjust things to the limitations of the Sims. And in order to make enough space for everything that's required for this build, I had to adjust the size of the rooms and the size of the diner and everything like that, and while also trying to make the outside look as accurate as possible. So there's a lot of things to consider when doing builds that are inspired by something that's already known or seen, or as opposed to just creating it from your imagination. And so in the show, if you see that like little bump that sticks out above the diner, that's the space where the living room is in the apartment. And for the facade of the building, it's only 2 windows wide, and so that's how I started out, as you can see there in the video. But I end up having to extend it to make it 3 tiles wide, or 3 windows wide, because there just wasn't it just didn't look right having it only 2 windows wide, because of the fact that I had to extend the width of the building in order to accommodate everything that goes in the diner below. So that's what I mean. Like, there's certain sacrifices you have to make, whether it's the size of the rooms or the items of furniture or whatever that you put inside the building. And I actually, even though I had to extend the width, I had to make it wider and everything like that to accommodate the dining area, I still ended up having to size down the booth seats for the restaurant. And because if I kept it regular size, they would not have fit. They would have been right at the kind of bar stools that go there too. So yeah, so I had to make some kind of creative adjustments, and that's really like the hardest part of recreating these homes. And I mean, it's fun, and it actually didn't take me as long as I thought it would originally, but I think that's partially because when I choose the furniture that goes in these houses, it's not a whole lot of guessing, because all you do is pretty much look for exactly is in the show or in the reference pictures and everything. So, I just choose like the colors of what's already there. I just pretty much have to pick the furniture pieces that most closely resembles the furniture in the show or the reference pictures I'm looking at. So in that way, it's a little bit easier, because you don't have to try to figure out which color scheme and everything to go with, because you just choose exactly what goes there in the first place. The colors are already chosen for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what makes this build somewhat easier. but at the same time, I still had to sacrifice some certain details and everything. And also, I do give them a basement, and you'll see that I put some like storage things and everything like for the kitchen and stuff down there, because I think in the show they have a walk-in freezer down in the basement. I think, but I couldn't really find any reference pictures that showed it. And honestly, I didn't really care to go that much into detail with it, so I just put like some, you know, random storage things in the basement. And I also end up putting their washer and dryer and everything, making it like a laundry room for them, because I was trying to think back. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the show, but I mean, I can't recall if it's ever shown them doing laundry in the show, so I don't really know where their laundry stuff is, if they do like have a laundry room or whatever. But yeah, I did look for a lot of reference images, like screenshots of different episodes and stuff, to get a better idea of the layout of everything and to see what items do belong where. And so you'll see that once I actually start furnishing everything, like especially upstairs in their living in their apartment or whatever. The only problem is that some of the details in their rooms change, I guess, over time or over different episodes or whatever, because like for instance, Luis's room, in one episode, or at least one of the screenshots I got, she has a window that's above the like head of her bed, but as far as the layout goes, that window there doesn't make sense. And in fact, there's a lot of other episodes where she doesn't have a window. So it was just kind of like, you know, weird that like things kind of show up like that and then go away. And so I ended up giving her a window, but I gave her a window on the wall that made sense for her to have a window, you know, that leads to the outside. So yeah. And then also with the like with Tina's room, the only bed that I could find that fit the color of her actual bed in the show, the only bed that we have in game is one from I think it's from Cats and Dogs, and it has cat print on the sheets. And so in that way it doesn't match the show, of course, but I was, you know, just going based on what closest resembled the furniture in the show. And she loves horses in the show, and her room has a bunch of posters and pictures and everything of horses. But since we don't really have that in The Sims, it's I just put like random like girly posters, and I think like stuff from Cats and Dogs and stuff. So like I said, I just had to kind of work with what we have in the game and just find things that comes as close as possible and get colors as correct as possible. But overall, I think that the layout of the house actually came out really well. I think all the rooms are a really good size. I was able to pretty much fit all the furniture in it with no problem, which was an issue I came across when I was building the Family Guy house. And if you haven't seen that video, I highly suggest it. Actually, I will link the playlist I have, because this is the 4th build that I've done that's inspired by a TV show. So I'll link the playlist of the other videos I've done that are inspired by other TV shows. And but yeah, so this one I didn't have any problem with fitting all the furniture needed in each room, and I feel like it really turned out well. And the only thing that I think caused a little bit of an issue was Bob and Linda's closet inside the room. It's supposed to be, I probably should have extended it out to the hallway, but I ended up just bringing it into the bedroom because they don't really have a lot of furniture in their bedroom anyway. So I don't know. But yeah, everything else I think turned out really well. I was really happy with it. I think that's pretty much all the concerns I had for this build. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if there's any other shows or anything that you think have a house that would be interesting to see translated into a Sims 4 build. And also remember to check Bob's Burgers if you haven't watched it before. It's really funny, honestly. Like, I love the family, and the family, we joke about being really similar to our own family, because I have 3 kids, but it's opposite of the Belchers. So, you know, they have 3 kids. They have 2 girls and 1 boy, and it's girl, boy, girl. And for me, I have boy, girl, boy. And but you know, we say that my older son's a lot like Tina, and our younger son is a lot like Jean, and then our daughter is a lot like Luis. And then as far as the relationship goes, though, I'm Bob and my husband's Linda, pretty much. So because, you know, he pretty much sings all the time and makes songs out of, you know, weird things, just like Linda. And I'm more like Bob, where I'm more I guess logical and realistic when it comes to certain things. And whenever my kids do weird stuff and everything, I'm just like, oh my god. Like how Bob says all the time. So yeah, we joke about that a lot in our family. Anytime we watch the show, especially when they're doing some weird shit or whatever, we're always just laughing about it and talking about how it's like parallel to our family in a way. But I thought about talking about my favorite episode from this from the TV show, but at the same time I don't want to ruin it for anybody. If you haven't seen it, you just gotta watch it. Honestly, they're just so funny, and all the other characters and everything that they introduce in the show are just so funny too. And it's really, I mean, you have to have a good sense of humor. Like sometimes, you know, they say things that might be a little bit offensive to some people, but it's all in good fun. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The screenshots are coming up. I don't have a lot of screenshots of this house because honestly I just feel like unless you actually watch the show, it's probably not that familiar to people anyway, so I just kind of gave like one shot of everything that is kind of relevant to the show. But yeah, anyways, enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!